do what it is, lads and ladettes. Welcome back to Yesterday Today. This, of course, is the show where I bring you some of the bigger news from yesterday today. I got some pretty good news for you, hoping that it gets plenty of views, and let's get right into it. So, just a quick reminder for my PC gamers, keep an eye on the Epic Game Store. Today is the last day that you can get GTA5 for free on the Epic Game Store. The last day. And if you haven't cashed in by now, why haven't you? What are you doing? You should definitely cash in because, I mean, GTA 5 online is like probably the biggest thing going right now. And why wouldn't you want to get on that? I mean, if this isn't your preference, cool. But then at the same time, this is one of the biggest games of all time. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of it? At least download it. It's free. What do you have? Oh, I'm sorry, you clicked too many times. Let's be real here. If I had, like I said, if I had a PC that could run this type of thing, I would have definitely got it. So let's move on to another story. So a mysterious thing popped up online, right? You know, you familiar with Gears? Yeah, so am I. Gears is an Xbox franchise. Well, it didn't appear to be so at one point, at least through this. A leak happened online that it was running on a PS3, or it was originally developed by a PS3. Not originally, but it says Epic Games did not offer any official comment, but the origins of the build in Gears of War 3 was certainly never announced as being in development for PS3. And then, you know what's funny about that? The dude who leaked it said he was formerly a hacker, and he said he only had the build, but then this was originally tweeted out by Shinobi602. It says, apparently an ancient build of Gears of War 3 on a PS3 dev kit has surfaced on YouTube, and this is so neat and weird at the same time. But then Cliff Bleszinski retweeted and said, I'm 99% sure this is fake. 99% sure. Well, it seems to be that 1% was a pretty big deal, because just mere hours later, Cliff was proven to be wrong, and this is from another writer at Kotaku. His name is Steven Tortillo. It says, update. Epic tells me build was made by them, wasn't part of any plan to bring games to PS3. This footage is a byproduct of Epic's internal Unreal Engine 3, wow, that's 2 engines, that's a long time, testing process, which utilized both Gears and Unreal Tournament, and was never part of any actual work for PS3. And then Cliff, he retweets that and says, ha, that settles that. I was so knee deep in what I was doing at the time, I had no idea what was going on on the engine side. Move along, folks. Yeah, I have no idea. This is really, really weird. I never thought I'd see anything like that, but I guess they were just messing around with the engine to see if it could play around on other systems. But that's always interesting to see, like Cliff Bleszinski resurface. He gave us the first 3 Gears. Those games were great. I'm not really a big fan of the last 2. I understand that they're very good games. They just seem to be too repetitive for me. But it's good to hear from the vet or whatever, just here and there, you know. And that was the small stories. Now let's really get into the meat and potatoes of everything. Now, we know we aren't really getting any big Nintendo news for the day, for the year, because of COVID-19, but they, as reported from VentureBeat, giving credit to Jeff Grubb here, it says they're going to continue to announce games just the way they announced Paper Mario and the Origami King. We're not getting any more directs. Now that's shameful, that's sad, but you know, because the directs give us such sheer great feeling, if you will. And this says, Nintendo Switch owners are in for a summer of surprise game announcements similar to recent Paper Mario reveal. Jeff Grubb then says, earlier this month, I reported Nintendo isn't planning a direct for June. As an update to that, I'll add that Nintendo isn't planning a direct at all for now. The post reads, it's telling development partners not to wait for a direct even if they have a big announcement. Now that's interesting. As for first-party games, expect Nintendo to repeat its Paper Mario, the Origami King strategy. Now, once again, this seemingly confirms the rumors as far as a bunch of Mario games coming out. I'm actually very, very interested in this. I still want to know. I always love a Nintendo Direct, but as long as we're getting a lot more first-party games, why not? You know, Paper Mario looks good, but I want a remaster of Super Mario 3D World and maybe a remaster of Super Mario Sunshine. Honestly, I missed out on those games on the Wii. I really didn't play it. I did buy them on the Wii U, but I just for some reason never really got into them. Now, I'm wondering how they're going to do it, because I do understand that when you're playing Super Mario for the Wii, basically you also had to use the Wiimote for something. You had to use the star, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. But I'm wondering what they're going to do as far as remastering it, if they do remaster it, because I'm very interested. But particularly, I'm speaking about Super Mario 3D World because I played that game. I put 20, 30, I put a bunch of hours in that game. And then you know how Mario games go. As you finish the levels, there's always some extra levels. So I didn't realize that the credits then rolled and then more levels then opened up. And I'm really excited to hear about this. And I don't expect Zelda or even Metroid this year, especially because maybe they decided that they were going to announce some of these games, and with COVID-19 slowing everything up, maybe they should just push it to next year and make it bigger news, and they can just have that coast into the next generation. Because given when it comes March 3rd next year, fiscal year, that's going to be the beginning of year 5 for the Switch, and that's crazy to see. I do believe this is year 4. Correct me down in the comments below, but I do believe this is year 4. And that's going to be the beginning of year 5. So I'm really excited to see what's going on. Because if they decided they're going to give us Metroid Prime Trilogy, let's just say, I'm just here hoping, I'm very hopeful. If they decide to give us Metroid Prime Trilogy and they just announce it on Twitter, the internet is going to be broken. Honestly. Nintendo's going to be Wreck-It Ralph. They're going to break the internet. And I'm going to go insane. You're going to hear me go crazy. And honestly, the next video I do is probably going to have a lot of bleeps out with excitement and stuff like that. Not really, but it would just bring such excitement. Moving on to the next story. So in Exile, I don't know how to pronounce it. The studio that developed Wasteland 3, they have said that after Wasteland 3 is released, they're going to announce the name of the game or what game it is. They're actually going to use Unreal Engine 5. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, this seems to be the first game confirmed that's going to be using Unreal Engine 5. Now, we know that this game is probably a ways off. It's going to be probably coming in toward the end of 2021 or maybe even 2022, because the engine won't fully be available until 2021. And I'm excited. I'm not really a fan of the Wasteland games because the RPG strategy games, not my speed up, but I do seem Wasteland. And given the fact that it's on Game Pass, I might play the first 1 or 2 hours of it just to, just get a feel for it. I do appreciate those games, that as well as XCOM, but they're not for me in the long run. And once again, I'm very interested. Maybe they're going to develop something else outside of Wasteland. And I can't wait to see. Maybe a first-person shooter, maybe nothing turn-based. I can't wait to see. Moving on to the next story now. We have two things, right, that I say just can't stay out of the news. That's The Last of Us and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I saved the best for last, of course. So basically, yesterday, they announced that there's a special edition Last of Us Part 2 console. Now, me being a super huge Last of Us fan, you would think I'm into this, right? Not really. Now, the console itself, it looks fine. It has an emblem, an engraving of Ellie's new tattoo, which I also didn't really notice until recently, because I looked at the trailer and said, oh, there it is, it's on home. I have no idea why I didn't notice it, because I'm really just excited about the game. But they're also selling the controller separately. It's going to be $399 for the console. They're selling the controller separately. Now, what I will say is this controller definitely looks amazing. The gray on it, it's awesome, and its details, and it has The Last of Us on the, what's the button in the middle that you can press? I really forgot. I have no idea why I'm having such a brain fart, but that's awesome. They're also going to have an external hard drive and a headset. And I think, hey, go all out. This is the last special edition, I do believe at least, last special edition console they're having for the PS4. Why not go all out? And honestly, I don't really know who this is for, because if you don't have a PS4 at this point and you are a Last of Us fan, I don't know, were you holding out until the end of the PS4 just for The Last of Us? I have no idea who this is for, honestly. The console looks cool, but the controller, nah, I take that. That'll be $65. Now, moving on, this was interesting, right? Like I said, Assassin's Creed and Last of Us can't stay out of the news. Now, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, the developer is saying that this is actually going to be bigger than Oddessey. Now, we've heard recently that it's not going to be as grindy, and it's not going to force you to grind in this one, but it's just let me just read to you what it says. I would actually say in terms of range that Valhalla is probably a bit larger than Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Assassin's Creed Odyssey was freaking huge. I played 30 hours and then I was only on 2 islands, and there were more than 2 islands. But go on to say, I do not have the exact figures at this stage, but we have not only created the whole country, which is in this case England, but also to a good part of Norway too. Well, at least we know we're going to get some more naval combat, and I'm always down for that. The naval combat is actually pretty good. It's pretty interesting, but I can't wait to go. What I'm thinking is this. It's going to start from Norway, and something's going to happen. They go, yo, we got to move. We got to go somewhere else, and they end up in England, and then they go straight to war. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. I would like for it to be a game where I don't feel like I have to go do this and do that, but I want to particularly be interested in it, not being forced to do it. I would like to, if I want to just one track it, go through the story, no problem. I'm not really the hugest fan of all of these open world games because they seem too grindy and sometimes even too distracting, but I'm not saying that they're not a fun world to be in, because Assassin's Creed Odyssey was definitely a fun world to be in, but I got tired of the repetitive quests and stuff down the line. But the gameplay itself, the combat, and even the stealth was really good. And in Valhalla, we getting the hidden blade and everything going. So you can also, you know, sneak around if you want to. And you're getting ready to go and try to take over a country. So why not have the whole country? That's going to be crazy if you really think about it. The whole country? I'm really interested in seeing that. But lads and ladettes, thank you so much for tuning in. I thank you for coming. Please play plenty and stay safe. Let me know if you like and dislike. Don't forget to hit the subscribe with the notification bell so you know when your boy is posting. This video is finito.